What's happening? It's China White. Like, share, and subscribe. Listen, I want to bring them comments back, but we got to get at least to 100, 150 somewhere in there. I'll bring the comments back. But if y'all come back with some more crazy ass shit coming out your mouth, educational purposes, we ain't going no further than that. Alright, so the Astroworld thing, right? The Travis Scott thing. Alright, my fault. I'm in the middle of recording some stuff. Figure I'll take a break, take a pause, and that. I'll go ahead and do this real quick because I know I have some pretty good insight I don't think anyone's really brought up yet. I hear a lot of people saying like, oh, it was the music, the way the chanting, da 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 da. A lot of people are like, but how? I remember my wife said like, but how, right? Let me tell you, during World War II, a lot of the sounds we hear in common music, like modern music, especially that EDM type shit, especially a lot of synth, especially a lot of bass synth sounds, and oscillators especially as well, were invented by the Nazis during World War II. The wobble bass is probably the best example I can give you of that. They would literally play it at the same frequency. That's why if you notice in dubstep, it would alternate. It would go wop, 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 wop. Because if you played it at that wop, 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 exactly like that, for 20, it was some amount of rotation. It was what the South Park episode, The Brown Noise, was really about, in a way. But it was, if you played this noise at a certain rotation, like a certain tempo, did not switch that tempo. It had to be a certain beats per minute too, I believe, too. It wasn't just playing the noise the same BPM. It had to be a specific BPM. For a 24-hour, 48 hours, some amount of time period, without changing the tempo. And you stuck to the tempo that, there was one tempo, I believe, if I remember that. It had to be on the wobble bass in order to do it. But if you did it for 24, it's either 24 or 48 hours, but it was no more than 48 hours, the person would die. It would cause them to die. You know what I'm saying? Like their heart would stop, they stopped breathing. Without no other explanation of why they died, it was just that. That caused it. They were given food, all type of shit. They just were not let out of this room with this music playing. Or not music, this sound. That's now used as a bass sound in a lot of electronic music. So, beyond that, when you're on hallucinogens, especially acid and mushrooms, acid and mushrooms, I know mushrooms are a member of the tryptophan family, which also contains DMT and all of its derivatives, MEO, DMT3, which comes from a Colorado river toad, and you gotta extract it from its venom and whatnot. All those shits are tryptophans, and those are the shits that can really open up doorways to being able to have a shared consciousness between this world and the worlds after it, but only the worlds that come immediately above and below ours, if you know what I mean. So, however, you're on acid, especially, you're still here. It's just, that's why some people trip way more harder than others. You see what I'm saying? Off the same dosage. You feel me? I've only had 2 experiences with acid or mushrooms where I was not on Earth no more yet. I was in my bedroom on a mattress on the floor. You see what I'm saying? Like, and both times were on mushrooms, and I took more than a half ounce. The first time I took 15 grams. Second time I took 29 grams. The 2 times that shit happened. No, it was not back to back. I was not going to do that to myself. But the first time when I took 15 grams, it was almost like that trip was harder. Like, that was more visual than when because when I took the full ounce, that was still really, really visual. Like, I was on a stone platform, laying down with, angels flying past me and shit. And I swear to God, at one point, I grew wings. It was the only 2 times I saw shit on mushrooms. And it wasn't just seeing shit. It was like a DMT type trip where you're not on Earth no more, but you are. So, what I was getting at is, on mushrooms and on acid, but more so I noticed on mushrooms, because I've done mushrooms more, and I've done a lot more higher of a dosage with mushrooms, because I took 2 tabs of acid only a couple times, And one of the times I did, I don't know if I got embomes or what it was, but I had a seizure and my right ear wound up crazy glued because of it. I had a grand mal seizure. I still don't know the answer as to why. I think it was either because it was embolm or I hadn't taken any acid in a long time, so I just took like 2 tabs like immediately. And I remember at that point, like the point right before I seized up, like my vision had been, I could still see the earth, like I could still see my backyard and all that shit. But it had literally like a filter of just like letters and numbers and like equations over it. It was really weird. Like it was like I was seeing everything that I would normally see, but like as it progressed, the numbers and letters and like shit that basically looked like lines of code got more and more prevalent in my vision. And then, like, I was looking at my friend at the time, and he looked like he was made out of the code. It was really weird. It was like the code for the Matrix, but each line was a different color. And for whatever reason, while I was going through that, I felt like they were related to like different senses and whatnot. It was really weird. So, anyways, getting back to what I was saying, if you've ever heard people on, like, for example, I always think that it's really ironic that a lot of people walked out the window on acid. And I don't know when the song Don't Fear the Reaper by Blue Oyster Cult ever came out. I don't know what year that was. But I know whatever year it was, people were using acid at that point because it was in the 60s or 70s. That the latest was the earlier mid 70s, I believe. For all I know, I think it was the 60s. But it's really funny because if you think about that song, that's one of those songs like I remember listening to The Doors. Like it happens a lot in a lot of the music from those times where there's a lot of really subliminal shit. And when you hear it sober, see like the shit from that time, there's a lot of it where when you hear it sober and then you hear it while you're tripping, the shit that's just background vocals will sound like it's broken down like actual words or chants, and a lot of times it sounds like it's not even in English. And you will never hear it when you're sober. I mean, in some cases, I still hear it the same way I did when I was tripping to this day. And I cannot, it's like I can't unhear it after that. You see what I'm saying? But that's not most cases. That's only with a couple songs. One which is a song by The Doors. I forget. I think it might be Susie Q by The Doors. But yeah, there's not, no, it wasn't Riders of the Storm. It was either Susie Q or it might have been Love Me Two Times, I think. But yeah, but then with this new music, like especially shit like Lil Peep, that sort of Travis Scott does the same shit with, where it's like there'll be like parts where it's like in the back of the dude rap, it's like like that's the type of shit where you could hide that shit. If I said the same shit, if I was like Hail Satan or said some shit about, and I just took that sample, sped it the fuck up, stretched it, and then copied it if needed, and then when I was copying it to change tonality, you know what I'm saying? Like I just moved it on the piano roll or whatever. That on acid is gonna come out more clearly to you than even the lead vocals. Well, at the same time, the bars or the lead part of the vocals, you're gonna understand whatever hidden messages are in it better than you would. Like I've had songs that I've like been like, yo, that song's about Satanism. When I was sober, I was like, it's not about that shit at all. You know? And like I would feel like the song was about something totally normal. You know, and that's the shit that stays with you. That's the shit that does not, like, there's, like, I can almost tell, like, when the news lied to me, shit like all that. And it was like that only after I did as many hallucinogens as I did. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think if there was, especially, like, the lyrics is one thing, but the beats, if there's certain sounds in the beats, when you're on acid, those sounds are going to sound totally different and possibly likely influence you differently than it would sober. And if with the types of darkish, like sort of gloomy beats he uses that probably have a lot of strange sounds in them, on acid it's gonna sound even stranger, and some of it's gonna sound like messages to some people. Shit like that. You see what I'm saying? Especially if there's chanting in it. That in general to someone on hallucinogens is gonna sound possibly, at best case, strange, at worst case, influence them to do something weird or bad or tragic. Take it easy, y'all. Stay safe out there. This is why I do what I gotta do, and I keep it moving.